Howdy, my sheroes and heroes. Did you think you'd never see me again? Well, I was going around the world interviewing great leaders from great organizations for this course. Guess what? I'm back in town. I'm here to talk about 3 things you can do to help fulfill your coworkers' basic needs. These are things that every great leader that I've had the privilege to coach, they do these things routinely. Now, although these things are relatively easy to do, you're going to need a certain level of authority to implement them in your organization. If you currently lack this authority, don't worry about it. As a future star manager, I'm quite sure that someday you will get this authority. Meanwhile, you can take notes on these activities and put them in your back pocket for later use. So what are these 3 things that you can do to fulfill your coworkers' basic needs? They are, number 1, make it easier for your coworkers to lead a healthier lifestyle. Number 2, encourage better work-life balance for coworkers. And number 3, increase transparency at work. You can do several things to help your coworkers lead a healthier lifestyle, including replacing unhealthy items in the vending machine with healthy ones. Provide more healthy snacks in your cafeteria. Subsidize healthy snacks in your cafeteria. Call in experts to lead yoga or mindfulness classes. Give employees subsidized or free gym memberships. And maybe hire a clinical psychologist to be on premises to help with work-related stress. Now, your organization may already be doing some of these things. For instance, most organizations have some sort of employee assistance program or EAP. But as you know, employees who need help often don't use the EAPs. Why? Because they feel embarrassed to use them. One employee I recently spoke to from an organization that shall go unnamed said to me, "Every restroom in my organization has a little poster for the EAP program with a 1-800 number to call. Last week, my stress levels went through the roof, so I was in the restroom and I was going to take a picture of that phone number. Just as I was taking the picture, who should walk in but my boss? I felt so ashamed taking the picture that I turned a little red and I pretended I was taking a selfie in the mirror. It felt weird to take a selfie in front of my boss, that too in the restroom, but it felt less weird to do this than to be seen as needing, quote, mental help." As these headlines suggest, shame and embarrassment about using EAPs are very, very prevalent. This may be particularly true for men. As Dr. Raj and his co-authors showed in a study, one way to reduce this stigma is to rebrand the EAPs, which T-Mobile has done successfully. Their EAP is called Live Magenta. Live Magenta. You can tell from the Live Magenta website that this is a totally different type of EAP, one that doesn't evoke as much guilt or shame. Another way to reduce what I call EAP stigma is for leaders to be very open about the health and the stress issues that they face, or perhaps that they have faced in the past, and how they have overcome these issues. Some people think that sharing such personal information may make you look weak. In reality, leaders who are vulnerable are not seen as less courageous, they're seen as more courageous. In fact, as this article says, vulnerable leaders are also seen as more trustworthy and more authentic. They're also better liked, and they increase employee morale as well as happiness. So to summarize, the first thing you can do is help coworkers lead a healthier lifestyle. The second thing you can do is to help coworkers with work-life balance. Help coworkers with work-life balance. Take things off your coworkers' plate. Help them with things that they would otherwise have to manage on their own. For example, help take care of their child care needs. This can be done by having an on-site child care center on your premises. Here's Sanjeev Mehta, CEO of Hindustan Lever Limited, talking about this.
Have in all our major facilities creche. Yeah. Now, for a working mother, there's nothing more important than having a kid in arm's reach of desire. Yeah. So we have a fabulous creche in our campus. And in fact, the kindergarten school in our creche has been rated as one of the best KG schools in the city. Yeah. So men as well as women, they can bring their toddlers here, and whenever they would want to go look up the toddler, if there's a nursing mother, she can feed the child, come back. So that's one aspect.
Unlike HLL, your own organization may not have the space or the resources needed to accommodate a child care center on your premises. So, if that is the case, how about subsidizing your coworkers' child care expenses? Findings show that employees are far more productive when their organizations take care of or even just help out with child care needs. Another idea is do something creative, like Google does. Here's Prasad Sethi, VP of People Operations at Google, talking about some things that they do.
We have a lot of people who drive into work still, and we organize things like oil changes while their car is parked in the parking lot, right? So you don't have to go and get your car serviced somewhere else. It is sitting in the parking lot, and let's just make it convenient. It's not like Google is paying for it. We just get a local garage to come over and offer their services to Googlers. So we're always looking for how do you make life easier for people.
The final thing you can do for your coworkers is to increase transparency at work. One way to do this is to have a no gossip rule. Here's Naren Dubé, CEO of a really innovative company called Scan Cafe, talking about how this worked at Applied Materials when he was employed there.
There was a simple rule of no gossip in the company. When I first joined it, I was like, how does one even enforce a rule like no gossip? But they did. In our annual performance review, there was a section on does this guy chatter and cause bad blood in the organization, or in our 360-degree feedback, I would be there. And it was a very non-gossipy environment when I was there.
I love the idea of enforcing the no gossip rule in performance reviews. That brings us to the end of this video. In the next video, Raj will summarize the important themes that we've covered this week. He's also going to discuss some important topics that we did not cover. See you all later. Life is good.